Hello and welcome to Akashic Astrology with Chrisanne and Sarah. Sarah is going to be doing the astrology, and I will be doing readings in the Akashic Records. This is going to be for January of 2026. Take it away, Sarah.
All right. Hi, beautiful souls. January isn't just the first page of a new calendar, it's a sacred threshold, a moment to root yourself into, to begin again, not from pressure, but from presence. This is a month of inner restructuring, a time to build what's real, not perform who you think you should be, but to honor who you already are becoming. You're not late, you're not lost, you're in divine rhythm, and January offers the blueprint to meet it. So, for the transits, January 1st, Mercury is going to enter the sign of Capricorn. So your words want structure. You're thinking long term. So let your communication reflect clarity and commitment. On January 2nd, Chiron is going to station direct in Aries. So our healing is going to start to accelerate. You've now done the inner work, so make sure you apply it. Courage isn't loud, it's consistent. On January 3rd, we have the full moon in Cancer. It's a heart opening reset. Make sure you feel what's tender and root into what's real. So let emotion be your compass, not your confusion. On January 6th, the Sun in Capricorn conjuncts Venus in Capricorn. You want to be seen for your integrity, for what you bring to the table, so that love and value align with your purpose. On January 7th, Venus in Capricorn will conjunct Mars in Capricorn. Attraction, ambition, and creativity all start to rise. So move with intention. Don't perform. Make sure you embody. On January 9th, the Sun in Capricorn conjuncts Mars in Capricorn. A new fire is lit. You're ready to act, but stay soul-led. Direction matters more than speed. Between January 9th and 10th, Venus, Sun, Mars, all in Capricorn will oppose Jupiter in Cancer. Abundance and expansion are possible, but balance is key. So don't overdo to prove. Do enough to build. On January 11th through the 13th, Venus, Sun, Mars, and Capricorn will all square Chiron in Aries. Our old wounds are going to start to surface, so let them teach you, not define you. Strength is born from awareness, not avoidance. On January 14th, Mercury in Capricorn will oppose Jupiter in Cancer. Big ideas, bigger opinions, so stay open and speak with vision and humility. On January 15th, Venus and Capricorn will sextile Saturn and Pisces and trine Uranus and Taurus. Steady love, new ideas, and make sure you build connection that's rooted and free. On January 16th, Mercury and Capricorn will square Chiron and Aries. Uncomfortable truths may start to arise, but don't shut down. Stay curious. On January 17th, Venus and Capricorn will sextile Neptune and Pisces and then enter the sign of Aquarius. Beauty, softness, and harmony. Let your dreams inform your plans. Love will then shift into freedom. Authenticity becomes your most magnetic quality. So make sure you connect with others through ideals, not through need. On January 16th, we have the new moon in Capricorn, and Mercury in Capricorn conjuncts Mars in Capricorn. So seed your vision. What do you truly want to build this year? Speak from clarity and move with purpose. On January 18th, Mercury in Capricorn will sextile Saturn and Pisces. It's time to refine, edit, ground what stays and what goes. On January 19th, Mercury in Capricorn is going to trine Uranus and Taurus. There's a sense of electric insight, fresh ideas, so you say yes to a new approach. Also on the 19th, the Sun in Capricorn is going to sextile Neptune and Pisces, and then the Sun will enter the sign of Aquarius. Feel into what's next. Let your uniqueness guide you. This is the spark of innovation. Also on the 19th, Venus in Aquarius is going to conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. Deep love, deep truth, shows transformation and connection, so make sure you stay empowered. On the 20th, Saturn in Pisces is going to sextile Uranus and Taurus, and Mars in Capricorn is going to trine Uranus and Taurus, and then sextile Saturn in Pisces. Old structures meet new solutions. Action wants to be grounded, so build what lasts, but let it breathe. On the 20th, Mercury in Capricorn is going to sextile Neptune and Pisces, and then Mercury is going to enter the sign of Aquarius. So creative flow meets visionary thought. So dream it and then say it. Between January 21st and 22nd, the Sun and Mercury are both going to conjunct Pluto and Aquarius. So speak your truth, even if it shakes. Transformation begins with honesty. On the 23rd, Mars in Capricorn is going to sextile Neptune in Pisces, and then Mars is going to enter Aquarius. And then the Sun and Aquarius will conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. Sensitivity is going to meet innovation, so lead with compassion, act with clarity, and real change begins inside. On January 26th and the 27th, Neptune is going to re-enter the sign of Aries, and Mars is going to conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. The dream starts to wake up. So it's time to embody your ideals. Let your action mirror your vision, not your fear. And on January 29th, Mercury in Aquarius is going to conjunct Venus in Aquarius. So speak from your heart, share your truth. Beauty lives in connection, not perfection. January is not a sprint, it's a sacred strategy. This month isn't here to rush you, it's here to realign you, to call you back to what matters, to help you build with soul. This is a foundation month, so let it steady your spark, recalibrate your dreams, and remind you that you don't need to chase alignment. You are alignment when you lead from within. You are not behind. You're building something real. And now I'll pass it on to Chrisanne, who will go into the Akashic Records and share a transmission for January's energy.
Hello, thank you, Sarah. So I am going to be pulling some cards and I'm going to be using the Mystic Art Medicine deck. And let's look and see what the cards have in store for us. So January of 2026 is all about, we're going to be having an awakening. This awakening is going to be something that we already have within us. When we have an awakening, it is grounding us into what it is that we already know, where it is we already want to be heading. This awakening is going to be that cluing in of where it is that we need to go, where it is that we need to focus on. This awakening is going to be re-remembering things from past lives, from past experiences, and going ahead and taking that information and almost those aha moments like, oh, I remember that. I remember that place. I remember that experience. I remember that. This awakening is going to be shaking us up for January of 2026, shaking off the dust as we move forward into where it is that we need to be going. And we're going to be doing it with grace. I like this card. This grace card is, we don't have to make a huge splash, but we have to conduct ourselves always within our highest and best good. And when we do that with grace, we move forward into where it is that we need to be. We move forward into where it is that we need to be grounded. By having the grace card, it is telling us this is where we need to be effortlessly. It doesn't have to be a major fight in order to get there. The next card of January of 2026 is the card of meditation. This is telling me when you run into little bumps in the road, go into a meditative state. That can help calm us. That can help give us peace, but it can also help give us answers. When we go into a meditation, it doesn't have to be a formal meditation. It can be something as simple as just sitting in peace, listening to the radio. It could be something as simple as just sitting and paying attention to your breathing. Or when you're in the shower, allowing the water to wash over you, it is clearing away some of those burdens. Allow it to do that. That can also be a meditative state. Many people think they have to do this formal meditation in order to be in a meditative state. You can take a walk, you can take a drive, you can take a jog, or you can just sit there in peace. And that puts you in that meditative state to bring you peace, to bring you calm, and to bring in some of the healing tools that we have within us for January of 2026. When the healing tools card comes up, it's telling me a couple different things. We have the ability, we have those healing tools within us, but we're going to need them. We are going to need those healing tools moving forward to stay grounded, to stay rooted, to stay within our truths, to stay within that meditative state that is going to keep us on that steady path that we need to continue on. I'm going to pull one more card from this deck. The higher knowledge. The higher knowledge card harkens back to our awakening. Our higher knowledge card is remembering what we already know. When we speak our truths, where are they coming from? Who are they meant for? They're meant for us, but on a soul level, on a deep level. When higher knowledge comes in, that's information that's coming in through your dreams, through your meditation, just popping in. Sometimes if people are writers or artists and they tell me they just painted something or they just wrote something, they have no idea how they got from point A to point B. Sometimes it's that higher knowledge. That's a download that is coming in to help us. This is going to be a super interesting month. So we have an awakening, but having it within that sense of grace, having that meditative state to be able to enjoy it, accept it, the healing tools that we need to move forward with who we are. And the higher knowledge is telling me that we have the ability to be able to do all of that going forward. This is going to be a really interesting month because if we're having that awakening, but with that higher knowledge that we already have within us, that is saying, listen to your gut. I want to go on to the stone of the crystal of this month. And I've pulled out a sodalite. So sodalite is a lovely blue stone, and sodalite is the stone that is helping you to awaken your throat chakra. Speak your truths. I always say it's so funny. I pull the stone first, I pull the card second, but the cards always line up with whatever the stone is that I've pulled for this month. So when we have that sense of higher knowledge, when we have that sense of inner knowing, when you have that open throat chakra, front and back of your throat with sodalite, it is allowing you to be able to speak your truths so you can speak them to yourself as well. You know, we think so much about speaking them to everybody else. It's just as important to speak them to ourselves. And when we acknowledge the fact that we acknowledge it, we already know it. We know we need to give ourselves credit for already knowing it. And that's what sodalite is going to help us with. Sodalite is a great stone if you're going to carry it on the left-hand side. The left-hand side brings the energy in, the right-hand side lets the energy out. Sodalite is one you want to carry or wear on the left-hand side of the body. If it's a pendant, it's in the middle, it doesn't matter. If it's earrings, it's balanced, it doesn't matter. Bracelets, rings, in your pocket if it's a tumbled stone, etc. Left hand side. So we're going to be recognizing what our truths are, knowing that we already know, and we're going to be moving forward in a really powerful way for this January of 2026. My goodness, this year has just flown by, and this is going to be a very pivotal, I can't even say the word right now. It's going to be an important month for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please check out the description for our videos, because if you'd like to contact us directly, the information to check out our websites is linked in the description box of these videos. And we appreciate you for tuning in. Thanks so much. Take care. Be free.